Hello everyone, so this is a new project we're going to try. This is called essentially the 3D printed puzzle, or just the puzzle, whatever you want to call it. So this is a finished one. You see all these cracks and lines, which means these objects are not grouped together. So if we were 3D print it all, you'd be able to try and assemble it like a puzzle. So we're going to start a new one. Alright, so the first thing we do is retitle the file, so I'm going to make it Guthrie Puzzle. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set the size of our puzzle. So I'm going to pull in a hollow box, and I'm going to make this box 100 millimeters this way and 50 the other way. So our box is going to fit into this space here. I'm also going to make the height 0, that way it's just flat on the surface. You'll also notice I lined it up, I'm trying to line it up perfectly with the corner of this box here, that way it's easier to set up your puzzle. So for the puzzle, you can try all kinds of shapes. I would avoid things like the cone and the pyramid, because that might not work too well. But I'm going to start with a box. And I'm going to place the box in the corner, right there. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the height to 5 millimeters. Of course, it doesn't work. There we go. Okay, so we have our box here, 5 millimeters high. So you're going to start with this. I'm going to make mine 10. You notice we line it up right here on the blocks, and we see it's right aligned with the 10 line here. So I've got a box 10 millimeters. Now with this, if you're going to use a lot of boxes, you can always duplicate and repeat. So I'm going to slide another box over. I'm going to duplicate, then slide the box over. And I'm going to stretch this down to 10. And then I'm going to group these two together, and we have our first puzzle piece. So another thing you could do, again, duplicate, and then I'm going to spin it around, and if my math was right, which sometimes is, there we go. We got our first connecting piece. Or you can do it a little differently. You could get rid of this, and we could make this more like that. So as you're making the pieces, you want to keep them on the whole number. So you don't want to be you don't want this to be like 30.5 or anything like that. It's just easier to keep everything whole. So there's those boxes, and I'm going to continue on. Let's see, let's try a roof piece. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to flip it over. Now with the roof piece, when you flip it over, part of it goes underground, so I'm going to lift it up until it says 0 right there. I'm also going to spin it a little bit more. And then I'm going to put it down to 5. And you see here with the roof piece, when we put it on, it's going to be at different measurements. So I'm going to make this 15. I'm going to make that 15. There we go. So it depends on where you want to put the triangle. I'm going to drop it right there. I'm going to duplicate another one, and then I'm going to mirror it. So I'm going to flip it that way, and I'm going to put it back there. Now like this, you see we have this little extra clump here. You can either leave it like that, or you can select both of the roof pieces, stretch them together so it aligns with that. And I'm going to keep going. No, I don't need that. I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to slide it down here. I'm going to ungroup that. Then I'm going to stretch this box, make this a different shaped piece. And we see we got that little gap right there. I'm just going to slide this over. And then I'm going to... didn't notice that. There we go, line that up. I'm going to group those two. Then I'm going to duplicate this piece again, move that there, ungroup, delete that, and I'm going to go this way. I'm going to duplicate this one, I'm going to put it down here. Like this. And I'm going to duplicate them, put them down here, stretch that out, and to make this interesting, I'm going to add a box right here. So you can make this a little interesting. Two things I'm looking at doing. One, grouping these two together, so now they're that. Or you could even group it in with this one here and make that its own piece. But I'm going to leave it like that instead. And actually, I'm going to group these two together right there. And what else can we do? Now, if you want to try and add a cylinder inside of a piece, like I did earlier, so how we can do that, I'm going to put this here. Got to make it a little bit smaller so it fits inside. Okay, so this cylinder is 13 by 14. I'm going to make it 13 by 13. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate, then I'm going to group one of them with this object here, and then this here I'm going to make solid, and then I'm going to make 12.75 on each side. This will make it small enough to easily fit inside that hole right there. And then we have to stretch it down to 5. And then you're just going to keep going with different shapes, different objects, and move it all around. I'll finish this up real quick just so we can all see the whole thing. So I'm actually going to put that there. And then I'm going to do one of these. Oh, that's pretty big. Now we got this big chunk here. Add that. Want to mirror this around. And then gonna group. I'm gonna go work. Okay, I'm gonna move all those out. Then I'm going to make these hollow. See how well this works. Now I got that piece. Let me get rid of that. And then place this right in here. And there is a finished 3D printed puzzle. Well, it'll be 3D printed when we print it. But, yep, that is this assignment. If you have any questions, send me an email.